So today we're going to do some more things dealing with composition, but instead of the last time we were doing some things on the outside, now we're going to go say if we had to try to make some different ideas for a space on the inside. So we're just going to work with four different compositions. So the first one, so that I'll draw it a little bit dark so that you can see it, is an interior space with a corner on it. So if I had a room here, say with a corner on it, and then we add a window. We have a nice space with a window. With the window there, it could bring in light. So we could think about how we would bring in light. Maybe we would have a picture on the window. You have to watch if this is going up on an angle, then this needs to go in an angle. Okay, so, and then over here, I'm gonna try another one where we could bring a 1-point perspective, where we bring you back into space this way, like that. And then other things could happen in there. Again, we could put say a picture on the window. Always looking at this space here. And then maybe a picture there. And let's see, we had another one. These we're seeing the floor at the bottom, but what about if we had a ceiling? So we had a ceiling. Let me see. It's almost as if we turn this around and we have a room, and we could put a doorway here. So here I'm going to do another one. And let's say we had a door. I'll start with a door here. We had a doorway or opening, which could also give us another room. And let's say if we added a table, say if we add a little table here, and then let's say we had another window. So with having all these different types of spaces, we can do different things. And then say if there was a door here, we're going to door here and bring this in here. So we can have a door that opens like that. So we're going to call these, I'm going to do these in black and white. We'll call these Notans. N-O-T-A-N. So these are basically just notes, basic notes for us. And I'm going to just lay these out in black and white. So here, let's say if I had a floor here. Just the floor here. These are little notes. And let's see. A little back wall in the back. Maybe another wall over here on this side. Take some of that up. And I'll act like this window light coming in. So I'll just leave this alone. Let's act like we have a little window light coming in. And we'll come back to that one. Remember, these are all notes. So here, let's see. With watercolor, you have to act like you can think about the lights first. So here, I'm going to bring in the door. I have the door opening. And we look at it as if the door, just adding more water to this. I can just lighten this value over here. And bring that in like this. And let's see, we're gonna light wash the top. Top, and maybe a little light wash here. And when that dries, I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. So these are real quick notes. I'm gonna go back into these. So I'm gonna put on a light wash over here. The top one here, this is the corner room with the light coming in. So I'll kind of like put in a little wash over here. And over here. And on the floor, let's see, I'll kind of like bend the light a little bit. Like that. And we'll make believe this was a painting or something on the wall. So we just kind of like put some little something on that, like that. So it could act like that. So then it had the wall pouring in. Now if I put a cross in there, then I can cross the light down there. Now over here, I'm starting out with the light. I'll put a light value back here. We'll do this back room back here. And leave the top of the table. And bring in the floor here. And what's nice about working on 4 pictures at the same time is that you can go back when one's, I can go back to the first one and add maybe just a little something to it. So here, so quickly I can see I have my room here with the interior space room with the flat wall in the foreground, interior space here with the light pouring out, with the wall with the corner here with 2 walls in the corner going back. You know, we remember we had light coming in, so this part right here, I want to make this, to bring this out, I'll make this darker. So we make this a little bit darker here. A lot of times people think that, oh, if I want to make something look like it's going back in space, I have to make the background dark and the foreground light. And that's not true. You could do it the reverse. You can make the foreground dark and the background lighter than the foreground. So let's see. I'll bring in some more dark over here. So now I have at least minimum for this Notan, like 2 to 3 values. I have a white, a lighter gray, and a dark. So this gives me like those 3. There's like 3 values. 3 values that really kind of gives me a little direction. And if I want to take some of it off, you can take, let's try, we'll add just water over here. Put this on here, rub it down. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's stained in already. Okay, so we were down here before, and I said I wanted to make this a little bit darker behind the door. And over here in this space. So here, bring in another value, a little bit darker value here. And here. So we got this shadow from the door, opening of the door. And then right here, I'm doing all these notes. And believe it or not, I'm doing these without reference. I'm just kind of making them up as I go along. So I have my door opened. I got the shadow behind the door. And it's really simple. This is opening out to something. So if it's opening out maybe another space, we put some landscape or mountains in the background. And maybe a little pathway going to the door. So you can see like how important it is if you were painting something and you're putting your figure or something in this, to have something in the background. And really, I'm always telling everybody to put something in the background. So now you can see. Now let's see. Now this is like white here, and it can, you can basically leave it white, or we can make it dark. So I think I'm going to leave it dark, but I think I'm going to play on the floor a little bit. So first place is I'm going to go over here to I have this little table here, so normally there would be, there would be some kind of shadow under the table, so let's put that in. A little shadow under the table. And let's see, we got a window. Again, that leaves us opportunity to put things in the window. So if I put a little circle here, let me make it a little bit darker. We make it look like if somebody Could put somebody in the window looking in. That easy. Looks like a little circle with a little triangle, just to kind of make it look like it's somebody in the window. And we put a little horizon in the background. We got a little horizon in the background. This is always important. A little rag, the rag. So when that dries, we'll go back and we'll put a little bit more detail in that. And let's see. Turn this around. We'll go light, dark to the foreground. So we'll go dark to the foreground. And so here, no water, no paint, just a little water here. Just a little water here. And now I can bring in more dark. Which the water just kind of blends it out to the back. Okay, so now here, let's see what else we can do. We have 2 values, so we want to see if we can add 3 values. We use the dark background here, light foreground here. So maybe we'll do this is the lighter side. This one little corner over here be a little bit darker because the light's coming in this way. So it would not make this extremely dark, but this side could be dark. So we just make this side just a little bit darker. And we go shadow in this. So I'm going to fade it out. And then just kind of move the lines going across like this. And they just kind of blend out, but the speed is good. So we got the dark coming down, this moving across this way. And we have the door here. Maybe an extremely light value in here, kind of really light here. Not much, but just a little. And then, because this is behind, we can bring in some of that, a little bit lighter, like a light gray here. But as it moves out, it gets lighter. Light pours into the room. So we have that element of the light moving into the interior space. And if we want to, we could just divide this space in the background, so there could be like a little landscape-ish bit of space back there in the background. Let's see. A little something in the background right in here. And then we go back. I'll go back down here again. I hope this is dry. So it could be just suggestive, weird, but kind of just a little bit of a suggestion of something in the background. So we have this rectangular form with the windows going back. That gives me a little bit of an idea for something I might want to do. This gives you a lot more drama with this dark shadow here. You can imagine something being drawn right in here in this space, a figure or something. And in here, you could put something in here. Remember, this space right here, the rectangle, that's itself is part of the composition. That's a square. That's a rectangle. That brings you into another space when this gives you the idea of the proportions of the rectangle, which is bringing you back into another rectangle. The shadow here that the door makes is another form that creates drama in the scene. So you have all of these different, you have this little room, you could hide somebody coming in here, you could put a cat in the door here. You know, you can really play around with different things in a space like this. So these little notes, and I didn't do them in color, I didn't make them in color. These little notes can help you with when you're trying to work out a composition. And we didn't even go into like putting in pattern or other kinds of elements, wallpaper on the wall. I mean, there's a lot of little things that you can do with this. So try these little notes before you commit to doing a full worked out drawing. Try just doing something where you have these little notes here, and these are little shorthands.